the suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
One of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
I got weed pots.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another week of Stoned Appetit. Well, your host, as always, it's me, Kip, and to my left, I got Chris. What up, fucker? Oh, shit, I forgot this is a family thing. Sorry about that for everyone listening with their kids in the car.
You're Muppet. Doing great despite the upset last night with the Avs turning it in.
Yeah, I mean, they were riddled with injuries. Yeah. And so we're going to dive in. We'll talk about everything that's going on in Denver, from the tragic events from last week, what we know about what's going on in the community, things of that nature. But before we do that, let's give a shout out to our sponsors for the week. Our friends over at Ritual, Colorado. Y'all, you heard us talk about it. They had a kick-ass deal going because it was their anniversary deals. As they're building out, I think they're in the furniture stage now, so they're getting pretty fucking close. But what it is actually going on is they're getting so close to opening up their store that they're going to offer free shipping for everybody that's ordering that needs a rig since last week, since 420. Maybe your dog's tail, maybe brought a foster in, knocked that puppy off. That puppy knocked that thing off the old coffee table. You got to get a new one. Well, if you use promo code Stoned Appetit, that's STONED, no space, APPETIT, APETIT. When you go to Ritual and check out, we'll waive all the shipping. They got us covered. They said any of our friends can get free shipping. Anywhere, Chris. So no matter what you may be hunting, whether it's a new rig for your new home, maybe you're a new market that just legalized it, Delaware, looking at you, Mississippi, y'all get your orders in. Take care of it. You can go to www.ritual, RITUAL, and then the little hyphen symbol, CO.com. As in Ritual Colorado. That's their social media handle. You can find them. They have a wide selection of high-end bongs, pipes, glass pieces, all the accoutrements that you may need to get loaded and lit. We're talking about samurai sword, hot knives type stuff. All the way down to the, hey, look, I'm just a casual. I just need something to, hide in my sock drawer when my kids are asleep. They've got something for everyone in every price point. So go over to Ritual-co.com and check out the selection. Use promo code Stoned Appetit for free shipping on any order nationwide, continental 48 states. The other two fuckers don't apply. Chris, and that's not our only sponsor this week. You know what week it is. It's Derby week. As just pretty much degenerate gamblers that we are, Saturday is the Derby, which is, I think, my favorite time to whip out the Breckenridge bourbon. That's right. They have award-winning bourbon. Fucking 20-plus different products, coming from port casks or rum casks. They've also got, for those that maybe hate whiskey, vodkas, rums, and gins. But seeing as it's mint julep season, we're going to be pulling out the nice stuff. The Mile High Reserves from our friends over at the Denver Broncos, the official whiskey of the Denver Broncos. We're going to mix it in. We're going to slap that mint like we talked about last week. Dirty style. Popper. Activate that puppy. Woo! Well, you know what? Breckenridge has activated us. And you can find their products. You heard me say it. They have 20-plus different varietals of bourbon. They have great gins, rums, vodkas. They even got bitters if you need those too. They've got mats, hats, and everything in between. They have 2 locations, both of which located in Breckenridge, Colorado. They have a tasting room on Main Street, and then they have where they get their hands super fucking dirty down in the actual distillery. So you can check that out. Tours are regularly available. They're currently up in the USA Today for Best Tasting Room in America and Best Craft Whiskey. So we wouldn't be aligning ourselves with shitty brands, and that's why we're stoked to be partnered with Breckenridge Distillery, especially for what I'm calling the biggest weekend of bourbon of my year, until about football season, mid-football season.
Yeah, until the weather starts to cool back down.
Yeah, but this is like the last hurrah. We're going to put on our linen pants. You know, I fucking love linen. We're going to pour ourselves about 5 fingers deep of some bourbon. We're going to get into it, Chris.
Make some felonious bets.
Responsible, but felonious.
Drink responsibly.
Yes, do that too. Shout out to our friends over at Breckenridge Distillery. You can find the products across the Front Range and the state. All right, let's dive into it. Last week when we did this episode, like we always do, we record on Monday afternoons. We drop it on Tuesday mornings. Well, when we left the studio, we got the heartbreaking news that someone came into the restaurant before opening over at American Elm in the Highlands and shot 2 employees and killed them. And it's some of the most heartbreaking shit I've ever heard, and I want to make sure I do this justice. So let me pull up the proper names so I don't misspeak. But this is the second such issue in as many weeks of Denver restaurant hospitality employees being struck with violence. So Emerald Von Dollar and then Ignacio Nacho Gutierrez Morales were the names of the victims. The suspect is still at large. They don't have any leads. So if you have any information, if you may know something, direct that to Denver police.
I'm a little confused on the details, and it doesn't matter too much. But like, I thought it happened in the late hours of the night, like after closing. Like somebody came in there late at night, and maybe they were closing down, but
I don't think that's true. I'm not sure that's true. So what I do believe happened was I saw Denver police put out a tweet saying they were responding to a crime, and that was at about noon or 2, in between noon and 2. And then 2 hours later, they said they had upgraded the investigation to a homicide. And about that time was when we came out of studio. And as everybody knows, we're very responsible podcasters, so we don't usually take our cell phones into the thing. So when I got out, I had a message from someone that works in the industry saying that something had happened over there. And so I'm not like breaking news or anything. So I was like, what's going on? But they had blocked it off like 4 blocks in every direction. So you couldn't even get near it or anything of that nature. So it's heartbreaking. Amarella leaves a 12-year-old child behind. I think Nacho is his name or nickname, had 4 sons, and it's just fucking heartbreaking. And, you know, that comes off, you know, the brink of what happened the week before, which is disturbing, you know, when Jonathan Douglas was the head bartender over at Zeppelin, was in his front yard, and I guess the term is like a vagabond, you know, someone that doesn't have a permanent home or whatever, was scurrying around through the streets and on their property, and he had said something to the tune of, hey, you can't do that here. I don't know what he was doing or anything along those lines, but from that altercation led another senseless act of violence, and he lost his life. And I know that Michelle, his roommate, she was not at home at the time, but she reached out to us to tell us the story, and she said that not only was he one of the kindest humans in the world, and, you know, they'd call him JD, and while we didn't personally know him, I don't believe, a lot of our friends did, and so they're all hurting, and, you know, as is, you know, now 1 week later it compounds, and so it seems like the country's hurting, which is very apparent, but now it's continuously striking very close to home in the Denver restaurant community, and it just breaks my heart.
Yeah, and just striking, like, I mean, I'm sure, you know, there's gun violence in all the states, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's all Cleveland, Texas.
Here recently, though, I mean, it just seems like I can't tell you how many people have died here in Colorado by the hands of gun violence in the past 2 months. It's fucking ridiculous, and, like, just, I mean, think about it. Last year, there were 646 mass shootings. And this year there have already been 172. So, and I know these aren't considered like mass shootings, but it's all the same. It's done with guns, and I don't know. I mean, I guess Colorado this past week did signed 4 gun control bills in the law, but they still.
We were already.
They don't do anything.
No, it's not. I don't know if we actually have a legitimate answer. And I saw a poll that was on Twitter, but it was broadcasted through Fox News, so it was like a screen grab. And even they were showing that 84% of Americans want sensible gun regulations, deeper background checks, longer wait times. So, like, I don't know what happened at either of these circumstances. We were not there. Everything I've heard is alleged. We're not going to use the platform to spread potential rumors. I'm just going to spread what we know. But, if this was something like in the heat of a moment where something happened, or like, somebody was angry about something and they were able or had regular access to weaponry, it drives you crazy. Like, there should be a wait period. You shouldn't be able to go out and buy a weapon. And then you see what happens in Texas over the weekend, and everyone's a good guy with until they're a bad guy. And it's like, this guy was drunk in his backyard just shooting the gun off randomly and started peppering his neighbors because they were complaining about gunfire. Like, we have a problem here in the country, and while I hate that it's now like seeped into our, like everyday being, that we've become numb to it. Like, like you mentioned, we have 171, plus one casualty, issues already through this year. It's just like heartbreaking and aggravating. And you would think that this would be enough to take folks to the streets, because 171 through 4 fucking months is goddamn preposterous. That's like 45 a month or 43. Like, that's a lot. That's more than one a day on instances, or, I mean, and it's not just here.
But it's like, all the kids at East High School that were going in to Capitol Hill and stuff and trying to get their voices heard. Like, there was a couple of laws that passed, but they had to make exceptions. And like you said, 84% of the public is truly expressing a desire to.
And that was on Fox News. They would never usually spread that, It's like everybody fucking wants it except for the 500 cunts in D.C. Yeah. And it's aggravating.
It's because there's a lot of money. And that's the sad thing about it. But, like, I don't understand. And then, one bill that was passed in Colorado gives, I think there's similar bills in other states, but where, like, if you're a victim of, like, a mass shooting or something, you have the ability to better go after the gun maker and gun suppliers in lawsuits. You know what I'm saying? And, like, and then, it cuts over to gun owners, like people who sell guns and things like that, and they're all up in arms because, they want to be able to sell their business without facing prosecution. But at the same time, something needs to be done. Like, we don't need guns like that. You need to have safety courses. I don't understand.
There's licenses and insurances for everything else. So, like, when we talk about, well, it's not the gun that kills people, it's the car, or it's the person. We don't blame cars. And that, it's like, yeah, but you have to go get a license. You have to have insurance. You have to be covered in case you are liable on the road, or,
and
like.
If you did DUIs and stuff, they revoke those privileges. But with, like,
it's the dick riders that drive me crazy. The people that say this shit on Twitter, it's like, not only are you just like, how do you stand, STAN, for the Second Amendment? What the fuck kind of concept is that? Like, it just drives me up a wall. And obviously, there's no, like, the answer is obviously to ban all guns is the proper answer, but you're not going to get that. So how do we get a little bit? I mean, I don't know. It drives me fucking crazy. I feel like we have to do this every month. We're having this conversation on this podcast.
And I don't know what the right answer is to. I wouldn't be upset if they banned all guns.
I mean, we have more guns than people in this country. How the fuck are you going to get the guns? They're still in like redneck Randy's hands. And if he gets angry because he lost his job, or his elected official or his candidate didn't win, I mean, like, what the fuck are we doing?
I also, like, I grew up around guns, and I hunted growing up, but, like, I never had a burning desire nor need to get an assault weapon. Like, I don't understand how that ever became a thing to market to the public. Like, why did we ever think, like, normal citizens should have access to what military personnel uses? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, when did that happen in our history? Like, oh, you should be able to have an
I think we had an assault weapons ban until like 2004 or something like that, at which time I think George W. let it expire. I think that's correct. And after that, we've seen like an increase in like mass casualty shootings. And I mean, we have an issue with handguns too. Like, like it's the leading cause of gun violence, whether it be people say, like mention insert urban city here. And you're like, well, let's insert, suicide violence. Like all of these things need to be addressed. It's not like one person's to blame or one party. Like we should all be able to sit down at a table and be like, okay, kids are fucking dying everywhere. Like what is going on here? But I think there was someone that said it, and I think we've said it on this podcast. Once, everybody realized we'd be okay with Sandy Hook and the killing of kindergartners, there was nothing left for this country. Like we seemingly were okay with it by country standards. Nothing was enacted nationwide. So for us to believe something was going to happen after any one circumstance after that or situation would be just stupid. It's what's the definition of insanity?
Yeah, and with gun, this isn't a right versus left issue. Like it's just a social issue that needs to be addressed. And I don't give a fuck who, what, political affiliation you have or whatever. I mean, there's gotta be a piece of you that says like, okay, guns are killing a ton of our kids. What's the solution to it? It's not more guns.
Yeah, and it's not like put people with more guns inside of schools, because we've seen that they're cowards, especially in primary states that, usually campaign on, the law.
And plus, how would you
it just drives me fucking crazy, Chris. We do this every week.
You're sending your kids to school into a place where, like, the biggest thing they should feel is safe. Like, regardless of home life or whatever's happening beyond those doors, you should be able to go to a school and feel safe. And, like, just the fact that having an officer there with a gun just seems ludicrous that we've come to that. And it still doesn't do anything.
And it still doesn't do anything. I don't even know what the answer. And then if the weirdest thing is, we're not political. It's literally like, you cannot ignore it. It happens every day in the city, and literally, now it's attacking, our colleagues and peers across the community, and it breaks our heart seeing it, and it just drives you fucking mad. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It drives me fucking crazy.
And then what's odd, and like, not to like lessen the shootings at American Elm, but like, I mean, there was no burglary, like what? What was, I wonder, like, just what was a motive? Like, I just wonder who would come into a place, kill two innocent people. Like, that's where I'm just so confused with such little detail about that.
Okay, so I don't know anything, but how it was written in KDVR, they had said that the general manager, had been shot multiple times, and he had been shot. The gentleman, Nacho, had been shot once. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like there was one that was either, maybe a more passionate, situation, or was an intended target. But for what reason, I don't know. But it makes you wonder if they came in the middle of the day. Was this a disgruntled ex-employee, or was this someone that knew who was going to be there? Because like you said, it's not a robbery. They didn't it's not apparently a robbery. They may have taken something we don't know, but it's like, did you come in here for a specific person? Was there a reason? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure the city is doing everything they can, but they are still asking for leads and help. But it makes you wonder. And I mean, I obviously don't know anything except for we listen to stupid podcasts. So me hearing that one person was shot multiple times and one being once, I don't know which way to interpret it. Like, was one?
Somebody came in and happened, it was maybe one person was intended target.
Yeah, and I don't know which one got it.
We have no idea.
I don't. And so, but when I read that, I was like, that is such a fucking weird scenario. And because when you said that, there was no signs of a robbery, or according to what we read, it just makes it weird, because it wasn't like in the middle of a shift. It wasn't like they were trying to cause mass, damage or pain, they went before they open at 5 or whatever. So I don't know. It's so fucking sad, and we've talked about it for too long. But our hearts are with the American Elm family and with the Zeppelin family, and for all that knew these three folks in the restaurant community. Obviously, you know, they bring smiles to a lot of people's faces when you do work in food and front-facing businesses like that. So sometimes you may have interacted with these folks and not even realize it, and then you see their name and their faces in the newspaper, and it's just gut-wrenching. And so we're sending our love and our prayers. And just a friendly reminder, if you were not able to make it to the fundraiser for the American Elm families of the victims, the GoFundMe is on our social pages. You'll see it in a post on our story, and same for JD's. We've been posting it. Our buddy Blake has been sharing those posts, and so anything we can help those families with, we're sending our love to Michelle and to the whole American Elm family and to their personal families as well.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays it's like you can run, but somebody's going to find you.
I mean, yeah, there's only so many ways. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge once we have more news, but let's dive into the second topic of the week. We're talking about cookies. Macarons, French cookies. We're talking Southern pies. But before we're doing any of that, I have to tell y'all about this hash dinner I went to. That was kind of a weird shift. I don't know exactly how we're going to shift into it, but I know we got to do it because that's our job. So I went to this dinner Friday night. A friend of ours named Mile High Dave. You can find him in the best of Westward because he's one of the best cannabis growers in this fucking state. He's got the dankness. It's so, so, so good. And you'll see him in a collaborated dinner with us in the coming months because we've got to get that flower somehow injected into our dinner series. But he and I and some of our friends, his partner and a bunch of other folks, all got to go to this thing called a Workbench Denver. That's their name, Workbench Denver. And our workbench dining. And so it's a hash paired dinner, but it's not just hash. You can tailor it however you want. If you wanted to have a flower dinner for like a private experience for you and your friends, if you wanted to have a wine pairing, or if you want to have a mix of cocktails and hash, these folks have it. They have a private location that they do all of these things fair game, properly monitored and, you know, inspected and all that jazz. I won't disclose the location, but it's fucking snazzy, Chris. And they are very, very professional. Like classically culinarily trained, plating on 1 zillion. The cocktail pairings were just fucking wonderful. The hash pairings were good. Obviously, you know, not a big dabber, so only hit a couple. Probably looked like a Chad trying to do it just because they had the laser temperature gauger as well as the dab torch. So it's like, how do you want to get high? And I was like, I don't know. These are all so very technical. Just give me that rig and this here torch and just let me get this thing white hot and let it cool down for 55 seconds. But at the same time, the food is unbelievably precise and like delicious. Everything is like timed perfectly and cooked. It's a well-oiled machine, and Chef Josh and Chef Adam are fucking killing it.
So let me ask you some questions first. What was the setup like? Like how many people?
So they average about 12 to 15 for their events. They love to have you into their venue, but they can also come to you. But it's not like it's a huge like banquet hall. It's like they're like workbenches. So you know that desk you and I have? So the concept derived out of COVID when they were chefs that got their restaurants were closed. So they were doing cannabis pairing dinners on their work desks for people coming in. So they brought in a couple of work desks or work benches, and that's where the name came from. So there's like 4 or 5 of them that are kind of broken up into like a smiley face. And then at the front of it, they are talking to you in their kitchen and you're watching them plate. They let you come up and take pictures. As you can see all of this on the social media posts that we dropped this morning. It's fucking cool. It's real cool. And the chefs are really nice, really fun. And Dave and his crew are so fun. They had a Wagyu that was really good, but they had these carrots that were really fucking good. And they had like a yogurt sauce underneath it that was and a homemade chili crunch. That was immaculate, but the best bite was a French toast they made with Japanese milk bread, and then they created this maple bourbon sauce, like a syrup that you would use for like a French toast. So they made a French toast style like stick. And then they gave you this mason jar little thing that looks like where you would keep concentrate, like wax when you make your own at home. And then you, on top of the stick with little dollops of foie gras. And so you would dunk it, or you could pour the syrup on top of the stick and then eat it. Oh, my God. Yeah, it was like sweet and savory. It was like the last dish before the sorbet. Oh, my fucking God. It was divine. And while there's nothing cheap about this, like ours are a little more approachable, but I can see why theirs are more expensive. It's in that Wolf's Tavernetta Beacon pantheon of costs, but you're getting it. Exactly. You're getting that. You're getting complimented. You're getting drinks with it. You're getting hash pairings with it. So the bang is worth the buck. It's a great experience. But it is. It's one of those like you got to treat yourself kind of night. It's like date night this week or this paycheck. Let's go to Workbench. If you're not a big stoner, like my girlfriend is not a big pothead, and there were others in the group that aren't potheads, it doesn't matter. They'll bring you cocktails. If you need an extra cocktail because you're not smoking, they'll bring you an extra cocktail, and you can either give your hash to your stoner boyfriends, hey, or you can just like be like, young, keep it. Give me another one of those fucking lavender drinks. Chris, it was so good.
How long was the whole process?
2.5 hours. I think we started the party at 6, maybe 3 hours in total, but we were kind of chumming it up. Dave knew the chefs, and I was getting to know them. We had exchanged messages because, real recognizes real. Well, they're fucking like posterizing us if we were to by comparison. It was like they're fucking dunking this ball. And it kind of puts you on. They do it kind of similar to Steven and Groovy Gravy do theirs, which I'm not, we love Groovy Gravy's events also. But it's for those that like that upper echelon of cannabis experiences. So, like, if I had done all those those concentrates, if I had done fucking 5-6 dabs, I would have been fucking dead. Meanwhile, other people at the table are like, give me yours, Kip. And I'm like, here. I know, right? So, like, I don't have that tolerance or, like, that strength to do those. But, I mean, you can tailor them however you want. It was an unbelievable experience.
If I did a dab dinner and did dabs during every course, I wouldn't be able to talk to anybody. Let alone if I made for anybody to chew my food. Like, that would just, I don't understand how people can do that. Power to them, though.
Power to them.
Athletes.
All right, enough about me. You got to give me something. What did you do this weekend?
Normally I don't have anything exciting to report.
That's not true. You led the episode last week with Greenwich.
That's true. This week, I did something that every American can relate to. I went to the local theme park.
Ooh, Lakeside or Elitch's?
Elitch's.
Tell me about it.
It's actually, it's everything that a theme park has. Lots of individuals wearing midriffs, crop tops. Shout out to those people, neck tats, and all that good stuff there.
Wait, are we talking Walmart shoppers?
I think you could transport the two.
It could have been Gucci Berry, our previous guest on the pod.
Yeah, I think probably some distant relatives is good. But no, great, friendly, fun atmosphere. Still, you get a little bit of a carny vibe from some of the rides.
You need that. You need that. Otherwise, you lose the pizzazz. Like if it's all just like buttoned up, like it's Buckhead outside Atlanta, nobody wants that. You need a little that. You don't need the full Lakeside experience, which I personally love. Like dollar hot dogs, and they offer you meth when you walk in. But you need a little bit of grime. If it's all polished up, you might as well be at Mar-a-Lago.
Which is funny because my girlfriend never really had the carny, experience.
They don't have carnies in San Diego?
They're probably much different than our carnies, like the National Peanut Festival that I used to attend every year.
The Mississippi State Fair, wow, excellent biscuits. I learned how to smoke a cigarette without having teeth. They just gum that puppy, and then they'll offer it to you.
And I remember at the National Peanut Festival, you could walk through lines, and you could have a plastic bag, and they would throw in dip cans. Like there was like a skull vendor there.
God, the good old long cut mint team, stand up.
And,
We are white trash.
The corn dog man, national team,
Oh.
may he rest in peace. I think he died of a heart attack.
That doesn't sound like a fried wiener vendor.
Anyway, so I was able to share like some of the carting experience with some people that went to us, and they're like, "Oh, I totally remember that." Like the zipper.
Oh, yeah, where they lock you in. They're like, hey, if you fly off of this, just keep your fingers inside, and we'll get you out at the end.
Yeah, but back to Elitch's. So the one thing I forgot, since I haven't been to a theme park in forever, is like you gotta wait, like lines.
There's no fast pass. This ain't Disney World.
No, I think they do have fast pass, but I'm not trying to spend more money to get a fast pass. And I don't even, anyway. So I also found out my girlfriend's a little skittish on some roller coasters.
Is she a screamer?
Well, there was one, we went there, the first one I wanted to ride was a mind eraser. And that's like,
The cocktail?
basically, cocktail.
It just spins you around so you vomit?
This one's like a full-on roller coaster, your feet dangle, you know?
Oh.
We got up there and she saw it go, and she's like, absolutely fucking not. And I was like, well, I'm doing it. So I went and stood in line, and I was thinking like, oh, we were right up there. I probably waited for like 40 minutes, maybe.
By yourself in that line? Oh, my. What were you doing? Just like sitting on your phone texting her about the people's like back tats that were standing in front of you?
I did. There was a really good hat that somebody was wearing that said, "Let me see that butthole." That's the only thing that was. There was like a square emblem on the hat with the lettering, "Let me see that butthole." But yeah, so I just listened to a bunch of youngsters' conversations. What a mean youngsters out there being mean to each other, making fun. Anyways, Mind Eraser was fucking great. For 60 seconds, I was smiling. I don't really scream on them. I just laugh. And, like, just have the biggest grin from ear to ear. Like, I love riding roller coasters.
What were the top 3 adventure rides that you enjoyed at Elitch's? So you went from the leg dangler.
Yeah, the Mind Eraser. We did this one that was like, I used to have these at the fair, so you might know what I'm talking about, but it's like a boat, and it just swings.
Yeah, the pirate ship? Everybody remembers the fucking pirate ship, Chris.
So we did that. Steph made a noise I never knew existed, and she was kind of freaking out, but okay. And then we did ones where you were kind of, it reminded me of Sandlot, where everybody took a big jaw. You were in like a little cart, and then it just, it lifted you up and was swinging you all about. And that one was fun. Like, everybody's just smiling and laughing.
Best thing did you eat while you were there? Anything?
Yeah, we had...
turkey leg?
No, I didn't get a turkey leg. We had fried chicken.
Tendies?
But these fries were really odd shaped.
Like your wiener? Or different?
They were
Or...
like a crescent moon almost. But
a lot of people have that kind of problem.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a problem. It's totally normal. If it goes a little left. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, food, I'd have to give it, I'd probably say 4.
You only got chicken fingers with fries. You didn't get a corn dog. You didn't get a turkey leg.
I had a Budweiser.
Yeah, how was it?
It was good.
Dude, I swear to God, it feels like they don't clean those like tubes out through the season. So you just come out there from whenever they did like Christmas fair or Halloween fair or whatever was most recently over there, and you're just getting last year's mold in there. So I'm surprised you're even here today. A weaker man probably would have succumbed to the fungi.
And pro tip, if you want to
Masturbate before you come.
Yeah, if you want to go to Elitch's, what you should do is you go in there and buy one full season pass. And then with that pass, if you're going with just one other person, you get one free day for a guest. And then, so basically you two can go that one day.
For that one season pass, guest pass.
Yeah, and that would be cheaper than buying each individual day passes.
Okay, do you need to buy those before the day of, or can you do that at the counter?
You can go up there. See, we fucked ourselves. We bought ours online. We didn't know about this.
And then they tell you, you dumb bastards. Y'all could have gotten away with murder.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're letting the community know. We appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, over the years, how they talked about the food shut down, all this stuff. And I guess that day is going to be approaching.
Yeah, all days do. Everyone dies eventually, Chris.
I think like Memorial Day, is that the first one or is that
That's the first one. Labor Day is the second one. Memorial's the end of May. I would imagine they would at least try to do one last summer, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I think it will be Labor Day. I think this might be the last summer.
It was a good run.
I think they're going to move it or whatever, but all that land is going to get developed.
Yeah. That's what I think is the Kroenke team that has it. Yeah. So fuck them.
Yeah. Fuck those guys. But I wasn't even thinking about when I was down there. Like, that's a lot of prime real estate in the heart of Denver just taken up by this amusement park.
Yeah, that's why I've always been team Lakeside. Because not only can you get tetanus, but you don't have to support Kroenke this summer. No, I'm just kidding. That means that I need to go get an Elitch fix one more time. I remember we've done haunted houses there. We've done birthday parties there. I have some pretty cool pictures from there. I enjoy a good roller coaster, including the onion ring, where it's just a big O-ring sliding up and down like a hand job. I like that one. I think that's fun. Yeah, the big drop, whatever you call it. But so we're going to have to get over there. Maybe we'll eat a couple hallucinogens and go run amok. It's a lot more fun waiting if you're tripping your face off. But at the same time, we could just get the fast pass. It sounds like that's a work expense if I've ever heard one. We'll check with the accountants about that. But yeah, we'll look into it.
It's good old-fashioned fun.
Yeah. And then we were together on Saturday evening. Sunday, anything cool?
Sunday was just a whole lot of hanging around the house.
All right. Well, for those that follow our social media, let me tell you about our Sunday. I drove east as fuck to go pick up a dog that was going to be killed in Texas. And so he was flown in by Underdog Rescue. And let me tell you about this group. They have a pilot who flies like a little 7, 8-seater or something like that, 10-seater. And on his off days or on his weekends, he flies his plane to pick up dogs that are about to be euthanized and bring them to their foster homes in other states. So multiple little entities, like not just Underdog Rescue, but other rescues as well, worked with this pilot. He filled up his, plane and flew these dogs. We all met out in East Colorado, picked these puppies up, and brought them back to our house. And so we have a DJ. We're calling him Disco Joe because we don't know what DJ stands for. Yeah, well, I mean, there could have been a Dustin Johnson or a Donna Joe Tanner. Shout out to Full House fans. But someone said Disco Joe in the community, and I like that. I thought it has a good ring.
Disco Joe sounds like he's on the ones and twos around midnight.
Yeah, and he probably, you shouldn't smoke. You're too young to be smoking. It has a little raspy voice to him and a lot of wisdom. Disco Joe's going to see the world. But we're excited to have him. So he's going to be with us for about a month or so. And then we'll try to find him a forever home once we kind of get him out of his shell, help him with his personality, and get accustomed to living outside of a shelter. So we're excited to have him. And then we hope to find someone in our community because I get to vet the people that would take home Disco Joe, which is going to lead me to my next conversation. The producer role. We are down to 3. I have not alerted any of them, but I will this evening. We've got 3 great candidates that I think knocked it out of the park with their reels. I showed them to you. You agree. They definitely look better than what we've done in our tenure. And they all seem like they're really nice and cool folks. So I'm pretty stoked about it. I'm going to reach out to these ladies tonight. And so as people listen to this, they'll probably be like, if they listen to this, to get any intel, if they got the cut, if they made the cut, and I'll let everybody else that didn't let them know as well. But we're excited to start the next round of interviews. What that will entail is having them come join us on the podcast to sit in the basement or in the studio. We'll try to film the episode, and then we will go ahead and see how other folks like the episodes. We looked at the reels. I thought about sharing them all, but then I realized that I didn't want other folks to know what the other people's bodies of work looks like. That's not cool for anybody's sake. But you'll see that they're all very much more impressive than us. So that's a good big bonus.
But shout out to everybody that applied and may have not made the cut because whatever you shared with me, I mean, there's some talented people out there.
I know, yeah. And so I wish we could hire two, but we'll maybe in the future be able to go full time and hire someone to follow us around and do audio and then someone to do video. Wouldn't that be neat? But for the meantime, we're excited that we're going to be able to add a third chair, and y'all are going to get to meet these people and decide who the person will be. It's going to be awesome. I know, I'm really excited. And they're going to be like our friend. Like, we're going to invite them to our cookouts, crawfish boils, things of that nature. We want to invite them into our family and into our community and let them introduce themselves to y'all as well, so that, when you see content on the page, just like when you see Chris instead of Kip, you're not like, oh, who the fuck is that? You'll know who Chris is as well. You'll meet the third person also. And so we're going to have we'll have boots on the ground across the city. It's going to be awesome. I'm really fucking no, that's not it at all. But before we get out of here, I want to do a couple quick shout outs. Just, thank yous to those in the rounds. First shout out to those who bought the t-shirts. We did a t-shirt sale for Cracker Barrel. We didn't sell nearly as many as the Waffle House, but I know that they're out there in the wild. So thanks to the however many people did. Second shout out to our friends over at Poulette Bakery. They're open from Wednesday to Saturday, and I've never swooned as hard as I swooned over this pie that I had today, Chris, and yesterday too. It's a bourbon pecan chocolate pie.
Basically a dirty pie, but you can't call it that.
Yep. Fuck. Yes, it's a church pie, Chris. It's the one you have after church with the big family gathering. It's gorgeous. It's got that good gooey center with the crunch on top, and then you get that whipped cream relief, and then the crispiness on the bottom. The pie is second only to the apple fritter. I got you one upstairs. It's a little go home, get out of my fucking house gift. It's like if you took a facial from Jesus. That's the best way to describe it. It is so sexual. I love it. All the flavor, all over the time. They do them like once every now and then. Whenever you hear that Poulette is doing an apple fritter pop-up, it's so fuck-worthy, I can't even express it. But I got you some stuff I want you to try as well. I want you to start with this green mackerel and tell me what you think about it. Take a bite, Chris.
So first of all, I was thinking, since it was green, I was thinking we were going to be with the pistachio.
I've had the pistachio. It fucks so hard.
Yeah, that's you always come in contact with a lot of this was key lime pie. Wasn't expecting it, but I'll love it because I fucking love key lime pie. And even if you don't love key lime pie, like
the citrus flavor with the cream, it's a nice marry.
Yeah,
the crisp of these cookies.
What I like about these ones from Poulette is a lot of the ones that a lot of macarons you normally get are like really tiny. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't hate. They're great. Little, 1-2 bites. These are more of like 3 to 4 bites.
Yeah, they're big boys. And my favorite part.
They're soft.
Oh, they're gooey. They're like, when you bite through that external shell, like, it almost reminds you of po' boy bread because it flakes, but the flavor on the inside is so soft, and then your mouth just like starts to salivate because the flavors are so miraculous. Try this one. I think it's like a salted caramel, or maybe maybe a churro or a brown sugar. I think there's a gooey component to it, like a caramel of some sort. I don't know what though. It's like, it's dripping. Like, it's on my fingers. So it's got to have like a caramel or something. And it's on the wax paper. So they're full as a tick.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Or I say caramel.
Yeah. I don't know. Those fucking Northeasterners and maybe the West Coasters too. It's caramel. Yeah. But it's not just, it's sweet, savory. They've got unbelievable breads. The apple fritter is immaculate. They've got some donuts every now and then too. The croissants it's so good. I can't express how it's 40 minutes for me to get down there. And that's where my last shout out of the week comes from, is to Chef Carolyn and Chef Penelope. for hooking it up and meeting me halfway and letting Penelope from Yuan Wonton. She was like, I'll meet you. And so she was nice enough to meet me halfway, so I didn't have to go all the way down there after picking up a dog. That was really cool of her. So thank you so much for doing that, Chef Penelope. I appreciate it. And just a quick shout out to her and Yuan Wonton. They are doing a pop-up with Call to Arms Brewery. And the girl Susie from OnlyPans, who has like millions of followers, and she does like horny innuendos, sexual innuendos in her TikTok reels. She's a gem. She's an awesome follow as well. Well, she's coming to Denver, so get ready. Penelope will be doing a pop-up with her and the people at Call to Arms as they've collaborated on a beer and a dumpling party. So and I think Simply Pizza will also be there. So it's pretty much the best of all the fucking worlds.
Yeah.
I mean, and so we're eating sweets right now, but we'll be eating savory soon enough.
When is that?
I think it's May 13th.
Okay. Local arms.
Yeah, they're really hitting their stride, it feels like. Whatever they're doing, they're churning and burning. Big crowds. It's a great patio. And maybe next episode we'll talk best patios to take a new dog that is scared of people. Because that's where we are with DJ. He doesn't really want to be around big crowds or a lot of things just yet. Yeah. So we'll start with the least popular places and then go to the most popular and finish at the Golden Mill where it's 1 in, 1 out every weekend. But I think that just about wraps up everything. Again, if you were not able to make the fundraiser for American Elm, you can find the link to help donate to, or if you want to help the families of the victims, you can do that there. And same for JD's GoFundMe. You'll see that post as well on our story. It breaks our heart to see such senseless gun violence in our community. And we're just, our thoughts are with those who knew thee.
I forgot to mention yesterday.
FTF? Where'd you hit last week? We didn't post about it. Morgan was out of town. We just got fucking hammered.
What was last week's? Oh, yeah, last week's was Rocky Mountain Slices.
Oh, good pies. Good pies.
The one right out there, you can find them Fridays and Saturdays outside Finn's Manor. But, you'll be able to see them 7 days a week here shortly in the fall. There's kind of like a food hall in the works that's going to be out there near Gaylord of the Rocky, or out towards the airport.
There's going to be a food hall out there?
Yeah.
Why?
Exactly. We're sure exactly 100% on the location of it, but out kind of that way, and it's going to be like all these old shipping containers that have been transformed into like a new food hall.
My mom's going to be so fucking pissed when she hears that. She wants to do that with a home in the mountains. She wants to like buy a plot and then put a bunch of fucking containers out there. So seeing as her house was burnt, she was like, it's a perfect chance to do it. I was like, I did not realize you were going to move from Mississippi to Colorado so quickly. Fuck.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
No, but this week's Food Truck Friday is going to be on the sweeter side.
Oh. Is it the one that I'm thinking of?
I don't know if you're thinking of the right one, but we can't tell anybody.
Okay, well, I guess we'll have to wait for Friday's Food Truck Friday. As you know, Chris has always got something in store for everybody. I'm actually, as you're listening to this, I am trying out a new pizza place with our friends from Denver Food Scene for lunch on Tuesday. It's not actually in Denver, and it's not actually new, but it's new to me. And I've heard such great things from not only Denver community members, but also international and national recognition from this company. So we're going to make the trek and get out of here and go give it a whirl. It's called Urban Field in Longmont. So while we love Rosalie's, I love them, and I will go to Rosalie's while I'm there. I am there to see Urban Field because I've heard it is some of the best pizza in Colorado. And if that's the case, if Rosalie's and Urban Field do in fact come in and bring the hammer, I would put them and, Giles over at Blue Pan, the team at Louie and Grabowski. I haven't gone over to Greenwich Pie. Yeah, let's just go get liquored up and, pound a bottle of white wine and, a couple pies. I'm down. There's a lot of pizza out there. You know, I don't pretend to be the guy that knows it all, but I'm happy to be out there trying new food all the time.
Question.
Shoot.
You have Columba, are you going to pick up some burnt bread?
No, I'm not going to swing through Babette's. Yeah, but I was like, what is he talking about? That's so fucking funny. Yeah, that's so great. Well, Chris, I'll report back. We'll be back with another episode on Thursday. We may have a guest, we may not. Who knows? Oh, we'll find a guest. We'll find the guest. We always do. But I hope everyone has a great week. Hug those that are near and dear to you. Love it. Stay high. Stay happy.
Stop gun violence.
Cheers.